Now, Lupin announced strong set of earnings for the quarter gone by. Profit grew over 37% to come in at 1,175.5 crore versus 855.1 crore. We have Vinita Gupta, who's the CEO, along with Nilesh Gupta, who's the managing director, and Ramesh Swaminathan, who is the executive director, global CFO, and head of IT and API Plus SBU at Lupin. All of you, thank you so much for joining us today. Vinita, my first question is to you. Are we on the track to close over a $1 billion in US sales for this year?
Yes, we are on track.
All right, Ramesh, if I can get over to you, EBITDA margin outlook, 9 months EBITDA margin around 29 to 30%. Does this mean an upgraded guidance for the full year?
So clearly the top line buoyancy is continuing. We expected competition to come in for tolvaptan, and fortunately for us, that has not happened. And given the fact that so there's continuous focus on cost. So given all of that, though of course there might be some costs coming up in terms of some parts for Mirabegron for the fourth quarter because of what we need to pay for the licensing for every unit. Given all of that, there'd be a tad lower. But overall, I would imagine for the full year, it would be upward of 27, 28%.
Let's get on with you, Nilesh. Thanks for patiently waiting. Is LOE impact now fully behind us?
I mean, this is the last quarter that you would see the impact. You'll actually see it not reflected in our numbers anymore. We're already seeing strong base growth. And next quarter onwards, the LOE impact will be completely behind us in India.
Absolutely, Nilesh. Let's continue with you. Core formulation growth is healthy. What limited overall India growth to 5.6%?
So the India growth has the tender business included in that as well, which is why we call out the India region formulation growth separately, which was 10.8% in the quarter and 9.4% for the first 9 months. Without the exclusivities, we were at 11.2%, 20% ahead of the market. So strong growth in the core prescription business. The tender business is inherently lumpy. Obviously, it's an important part of what we do, but that's the nature of that business. And that's what brought the numbers down. But the IRF business is going strong.
Vinita, over to you. Tell us the impact from the Mirabegron settlement. You had a base case where there is no additional competition in the near term, but we saw Zydus as well has completed a settlement allowing them to participate in generic sales in US. So how is the outlook shifted now?
Yes, so it's hard to predict, what additional competition can or cannot come in. Certainly, based on both our settlement as well as Zydus, it's clear what the brand would expect from any entrant that comes in. But from our perspective, we now have certainty. We don't have the risk of litigation, which was an overhang on the product. And we have clarity on the payment going forward on the product. So it continues to be a real product for us for fiscal year 27 and also potential part of 28.
Vinita, also tell us any update on other launches that you saw this quarter. Victoza authorized generic to Ravicity.
Yeah, so it's been a pretty rich launch calendar over the last year overall. I mean, if you look at beyond tolvaptan, which was, of course, the largest, our injectables portfolio really executed well from a launch perspective. Glucagon early in the year, and then liraglutide as well as risperidone consta in the last 2 quarters. And we were very pleased to get the approval for pegfilgrastim, first biosimilar for the US, and expecting to launch that before the end of this quarter. Material contribution for the product will really come into the next fiscal year. Ravicti authorized generic has been a good launch for us. We are also awaiting our own ANDA approval that is on track in a couple of months, and we'll look forward to launching that as well. So, we are pretty well positioned for the next fiscal year as we look at maybe additional competition coming into some of the oral products like tolvaptan and potentially Mirabegron. We have the injectables institutional business growing, and we have the biosimilars business starting to build. So I feel pretty good about sustaining our revenue levels and growing over the next few years based on our rich pipeline.
Nilesh, over to you. How are GLP-1 and diabetes portfolio trends shaping up?
Diabetes is going strong. Like we said, the exclusivities are pretty much behind us. And next quarter on, we should see even stronger growth. From the GLP-1 perspective, obviously, this is a very exciting quarter. Next month, we will launch our injectable semaglutide, as well a bunch of other companies. But being a large cardiometabolic player, obviously, this is an opportunity for us to build a meaningful brand out of this. We have a lot more other plans in GLP-1s as well. As you know, we have a novel product that we've just started on development, and there'll be others as well. So, exciting times from a GLP-1 perspective, but that is not the entirety of our product portfolio. I think there's other products in respiratory, in cardiology. So we're looking to bring a lot more new novel products to the Indian market.
Nilesh, stay with us right there. Is the novel treatment you're referring to the GAN and Lee partnership in India, and outlook of the impact from this?
Too early to say. I think it's a novel product. The fact that it is once in 2 weeks versus the competition, which should otherwise be once a week, that is the uniqueness with equivalent efficacy. Obviously, it has to go through the entire development process in India from a clinical trial perspective. So, it's going to be a couple of years before we bring it to market, but it should be unique when it comes to market.
Thank you so much, Vinita, Ramesh, and Nilesh. Thanks for joining us today on ET Now.